Have you ever looked at someone and wondered, how do they make success look so easy? It's like opportunities just fall into their lap. Wealth seems to find them, good fortune follows them, and everything they touch turns to gold. But here's a quiet truth. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's psychology. You see, there are certain mental habits, small mindset shifts, and subtle psychological tricks that can completely change the way you attract success in your life. Most people never learn this. They believe that working harder and grinding longer is the only way to get ahead. But in reality, it's not just about how hard you work. It's about how you think, how you show up, and how you position yourself to receive opportunities. In this video, we're going to explore 12 psychological strategies that are quietly used by the world's most successful people. These are the mental frameworks that help them attract wealth, build good fortune, and create opportunities, even in situations where others see none. You don't need special talent. You don't need perfect timing. What you need is a willingness to shift your mindset, to approach challenges differently, to take actions that align with success psychology. For example, did you know that taking reasonable risks can actually be safer in the long run than staying in your comfort zone? Most people think avoiding risk is being smart, but in reality, it's often the biggest risk of all. Because while you're standing still, the world moves on. Or, how about the power of staying bright in dark moments? When life feels heavy, when failure strikes, most people withdraw. But those who train their minds to stay calm, positive, and proactive, they find hidden opportunities in situations where others only see obstacles. And then there's the courage to put yourself out there. You can't attract opportunities if no one knows you exist. You can't receive a yes if you're too afraid of hearing no. Visibility is a magnet for luck, but it takes intention and it takes practice. These are just a few of the strategies we'll dive into in this video. But here's what I want you to understand. These are not overnight hacks. They're not about tricking the universe. They're about reshaping how you think and act so that you align with the flow of opportunity. Success isn't always about pushing harder. Sometimes it's about moving smarter, adjusting your posture, adjusting your energy, and allowing good fortune to meet you because you're in the right mental space to receive it. But let's address something up front. You will have moments of doubt. You will face setbacks. You will experience rejection, and that's okay. Because wealth and good fortune aren't found in a perfect linear path. They are found in resilience, in persistence, and in the quiet power of showing up for yourself even when things feel uncertain. The good news is, you don't need to make dramatic changes overnight. It starts with small shifts, tiny intentional actions that signal to yourself and to the world that you are ready for more. Taking a small risk that stretches your comfort zone. Standing tall and smiling even when you feel low. Sharing your work, your ideas, your value with the world, even when it feels scary. These small acts build momentum, and momentum builds luck. By the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of psychological strategies that will help you reframe your relationship with success. You'll understand how to position yourself so that wealth and opportunities are naturally drawn into your life. No gimmicks, no empty motivation, just practical, proven psychological tricks that create real change. So if you're tired of waiting for luck to knock on your door, if you're ready to stop feeling stuck, if you're serious about attracting wealth and good fortune into your life, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to unpack 12 powerful principles that can quietly transform your mindset, your actions, and your results. The first one might just change the way you see risk forever. Let's begin. Number 1, master the art of patience. Patience is a virtue. You've heard that before, I'm sure, an old saying, one that feels a little outdated in today's world. We live in a time where everything is fast, instant messages, 2-day shipping, one-click decisions. We've become conditioned to expect things now, to move quickly, to get results immediately. But here's the quiet truth that many people miss. When it comes to building wealth, creating success, or attracting real abundance, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a requirement. You see, anything truly meaningful takes time. Think about the strongest trees. They grow slowly, quietly, season by season. They don't rush, but they're built to last. Your dreams, your goals, your vision for a better life, they are no different. They take time, they need space, they require your faith and your patience. Impatience is loud, it's restless. It wants results before the foundation is even set. And when you act from impatience, you make decisions out of fear. You chase shortcuts, you settle for less because you're tired of waiting for more. But patience is quiet strength. It's confidence without noise. It's trusting the process, even when the results haven't shown up yet. It's staying grounded, even when the world around you is racing ahead. When you're patient, you don't just wait. You prepare. You learn. You grow. You take quiet, steady steps, and each one brings you closer to the life you're building, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Sometimes it will feel like nothing's happening, like your effort isn't paying off, like you're being left behind. But remember this, real change happens beneath the surface. Seeds take time to grow, foundations take time to set. Masterpieces are built slowly, with care, with patience. So the next time you feel rushed, the next time you feel behind, remind yourself you're not late, you're in the process, and the process is working, even when it's quiet. The art of patience is not about doing nothing, it's about doing the right things, at the right pace, with the right mindset. Trust the timing of your life. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. Just keep showing up, keep doing your part, and let patience carry the rest. Because in the end, the people who go far aren't always the fastest. They're the ones who learned how to wait with grace, to grow with purpose, and to move forward with quiet confidence. Master the art of patience, and you'll master the rhythm of success. Number 2, think long-term or build what lasts. Think long-term or build what lasts. In a world that celebrates quick wins, fast money, and overnight success, there is quiet wisdom in slowing down and thinking long-term. We don't hear that enough today. But the truth is, your future is shaped by what you do today. And the longer your vision, the stronger your foundation will be. Patience, that calm, steady companion, becomes even more powerful when it's paired with long-term thinking. It helps you resist the urge to rush. It keeps you from grabbing what's easy and encourages you to build what truly lasts. When you think long-term, you stop asking what feels good right now, and you start asking what will matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or even at the end of my life. This kind of thinking changes everything. It changes how you work. Because you're not just chasing a paycheck, you're building a career. You're developing skills. You're laying down a path one step at a time. It changes how you handle money. Because you're no longer looking for quick profit, you're thinking about financial peace. You're planting seeds for future wealth, not just today's comfort. It even changes how you choose your friends, your relationships, and the people you allow into your life. You start to ask, does this person help me grow? Are we building something meaningful here? Will this connection still matter in the long run? You see, short-term thinking is tempting. It gives fast rewards. It feels exciting, but more often than not, it leaves you empty. Long-term thinking is different. It requires patience. It demands discipline, but it also creates stability and meaning and peace where you live. How you spend your time, what you focus on, all of it adds up. So start thinking long-term, as early as you can, because the earlier you start, the further you can go. And if you haven't started yet, it's not too late. You can still plant new seeds. You can still build a future that reflects your values, your purpose, and your dreams. Just remember, the best things in life take time. They require patience, and they need vision. So think long-term, build with intention. And don't just live for today, live for the life you truly want, the one you'll be proud of. Years from now, think long-term, build what lasts, and you'll create a life that's not just successful, but deeply meaningful. Number 3, think in terms of income, not debt. There's a shift that happens when you stop thinking about debt and start thinking about income. It's a powerful shift, and for many it's life-changing. We live in a world where debt is normalized. Everywhere you turn, there's a credit card, a payment plan, a buy now, pay later button tempting you. But here's the truth I've learned. Outside of a mortgage, maybe a student loan, or the car that takes you to work, debt should never be your default way to afford life. If I could offer one financial life lesson, it's this. Turn your thoughts away from debt. Don't look at debt as a tool to fund your lifestyle. Don't rely on it to buy things you haven't yet earned. Because every time you borrow against your future, you delay your freedom. Instead, begin training your mind to think differently, to think in terms of income, not what you owe, but what you can create. Here's how you start. Shift your energy away from the question, how can I afford this now? And instead ask, how can I increase what I earn so I can afford this comfortably without borrowing from my tomorrow? Ask yourself, what skills do I have? What value can I offer? What problem can I solve that people would gladly pay for? What side income could I build, even in a small way, that over time could grow? Where can I invest my time now that might lead to greater income later? Because when your mind starts focusing on earning, on building, on expanding your potential, you step out of survival mode and into creation mode. Debt keeps you trapped. It keeps you focused on bills, payments, minimum balances, all while your energy is pulled toward fear. But income is freedom. Income is possibility. Income is the fuel behind every goal you have. Now, this doesn't mean you'll wake up tomorrow with a six-figure business. This doesn't mean you never face challenges. But when you train your mind to think in terms of income, you open doors. You start looking for opportunities. You start solving instead of stressing. You begin to ask yourself, not what you can't afford, but what you can create. And it's not just about money, it's about how you see yourself. When you focus on debt, you're constantly reminded of what you lack. When you focus on income, you're reminded of what you can do. So today I challenge you to make a mental switch. From fear to possibility, from owing to owning, from surviving to building. Stop asking how much you owe, start asking how much you could grow. Because the life you want, it isn't found in another credit card. It's found in the value you bring to the world, in the courage to think differently, in the patience to build slowly, and in the discipline to say, I will earn this, not borrow it. So remember this, think in terms of income, not debt, and your future will thank you. Number 4, take action. There's a powerful truth you should never forget. Nothing changes until you do. You can dream, you can plan, you can wait for the perfect moment, but at some point, you have to take action. Even the smallest step can set something beautiful in motion. You see, most people think motivation comes first, that they have to feel ready before they can begin. But that's not how it works. Action leads to motivation, not the other way around. When you take action, even a small one, you spark movement, and movement creates momentum. Momentum brings progress, and progress creates belief. Let's say you've been stuck. Maybe you've been thinking about changing your life, getting healthier, saving more, starting something new. But the thought of the big picture overwhelms you. So you wait, you think, you plan. But nothing happens. Now imagine this, you just take one small step. Something simple, something you can do today. That one act, it may not change your life instantly, but it changes you. It gives you a tiny win, a spark of energy. And in that spark, you feel something shift. Suddenly your brain gets feedback. You did something. You followed through. You moved forward. That's when motivation shows up. After the action, not before. The more you act, the more you build a positive cycle. Action creates progress. Progress creates confidence. Confidence creates desire to keep going. One step leads to the next. One decision opens a door. And before you know it, you're no longer stuck. You're in motion. Taking action isn't about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's simply about showing up, starting, and trusting that clarity will come as you move. There's a kind of courage in taking action, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet kind that whispers, I'm ready to begin, even if I'm scared. I'll try, even if I don't have it all figured out. So whatever it is you've been waiting on, whatever you've been holding off, don't wait for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. Don't wait to feel fearless. That moment may never come. Instead, take the first step, any step. Let it be small, let it be imperfect, just let it be real. Because once you begin, you'll begin to believe. And once you believe, you'll begin to grow. So remember, every great journey starts the same way, with a single decision to act. Take action, even now, especially now, because the life you want is waiting on the other side of that first step. Number 5, face the reality, face the facts. There comes a moment in every journey where you have to stop dreaming for a minute and look honestly at where you are, not where you wish you were, not where you said you'd be, but where you actually are, right now. That moment is called facing the reality, facing the facts. It's not always easy, it's not always comfortable, but it is necessary because you can't move forward if you're not willing to face the truth of where you stand. So ask yourself, gently, truthfully, what is your net worth? Not just your income, but what you own, minus what you owe. This number matters, not because it defines your worth as a person, but because it reveals your financial truth. It tells the story of your past decisions, and it gives you a starting point for your future. Next, ask, how much money do I really spend, and where does it go? Not just what you think you spend, but what you actually spend. Track it, list it, be honest, because your money is always telling a story. And when you follow the story, you'll discover your real habits, your true values, and sometimes the patterns that are holding you back. Now take it a step further. Do you have investments? If so, what are they? Where is your money going? And more importantly, why is it going there? Are these investments aligned with your goals, with your stage of life, with the level of risk you're willing to take? Sometimes we invest out of habit, sometimes out of pressure, sometimes because someone told us it was smart. But if your investments don't match your life plan, then it's time to reassess. And here's another hard truth. Sometimes we're not just holding on to bad investments, we're holding on to unrealistic plans, dreams that don't fit our current season, goals that might not be rooted in wisdom. Facing the facts means asking, is this dream really serving me, or is it just making me feel stuck? It's okay to shift. It's okay to change direction. What matters is that your goals are real, and that they reflect your actual life. Facing the facts isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. And clarity is a gift, because when you see clearly, you can act wisely, you can move with purpose, you can build something solid. So today, take a moment, breathe, and face the numbers, face the truth, face the facts of your financial life. You might not like what you see at first, but that's okay. That's where growth begins. You can't control everything, but you can take responsibility. You can adjust, you can start again, smarter and stronger. Number 6, face the reality, because once you do, you stop living in illusion. You stop making guesses. Reality is an assumption. Reality is built on facts, not assumptions. Reality isn't shaped by guesswork. It's what truly is. No assumption can rewrite reality, and you start making progress. Truth is not the enemy. It's the path to real freedom. Every dollar you spend tells a story. It shows what matters to you, what you prioritize, what you believe is worth exchanging your time, energy, and effort for. So the question is simple. Are you spending in alignment with your values, with your true capability, or are you spending to impress, to escape, to keep up? The truth is, many people spend without thinking. We swipe the card, we hit add to cart, we subscribe, we upgrade, without asking why. But real financial peace, lasting contentment, doesn't come from spending more. It comes from spending right, from choosing to use your money in a way that reflects who you are and what matters most. Start by asking yourself, what do I truly value? Is it peace, freedom, family time, growth, simplicity? Then look at your spending. Does it reflect that? If you value health, are you investing in quality food, in rest, in movement? If you value learning, are you putting money into books, courses, tools that help you grow? If you value peace, are you spending on things that simplify your life or things that clutter it? Spending in alignment isn't about restriction. It's not about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to the right things and letting go of the rest. It's also about knowing your capability, living within your means, not someone else's, not trying to match what others do, not spending based on pressure or comparison, but being honest with where you are, financially, emotionally, practically, and choosing wisely from that place. There is freedom in limits. There is peace in living simply. There is power in knowing that you control where your money goes, instead of letting your emotions, habits, or the culture decide for you. So ask yourself, what can I cut? Not because it's bad, but because it doesn't align with what I truly care about. What can I keep and even spend more on because it reflects the life I want to build? Maybe it means fewer impulse buys and more savings for travel. Maybe it means canceling things you no longer use and redirecting that money toward your future. It's not about having more, it's about being aligned. When your spending reflects your values, You stop feeling guilty. You stop chasing. You start building. So today, take a quiet moment. Look at your money, not with fear, but with intention. Ask yourself, does my spending match the life I want? Does it honor who I truly am? And if not, that's okay. You can shift, you can adjust, you can begin again. One decision at a time. Spend in alignment with your capability. Spend in alignment with your values. Because money is not just a tool, it's a reflection. And when it reflects the right things, you'll feel more grounded, more focused, and more free. Number 7, be a minimalist. In a world that celebrates more, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose less. Not less in value, not less in purpose, but less in clutter, less in noise, less in complication. Minimalism is not about lack. It's about clarity. It's about letting go of what's not essential, so you can make space for what truly matters. Be a minimalist, especially with your money, because the more complicated your finances are, the harder it is to feel in control. Endless subscriptions, multiple bank accounts, debt across different cards, spending that happens without thought. All of this creates mental noise. It makes it harder to see where you really stand, and it makes it easier to feel overwhelmed. So what if you simplified? What if you streamlined? What if you chose to minimize your finances to maximize your money? That's what financial minimalism is. It's about creating a clear, simple system, so your money works for you. Instead of stressing you out, start small. Ask yourself, do I really need all these accounts? Do I know exactly what I spend each month? Do I have financial goals that are clear and focused, or are they scattered and unclear? Minimalism invites you to pause and make intentional choices. Track your spending, not just for the sake of numbers, but to understand yourself. Look for the unnecessary, the waste, the things you're paying for but no longer value, and gently let them go. You don't need to cut everything, but you do need to focus. And focus comes from simplicity. Being a minimalist with money doesn't mean you live in scarcity. It means you live with intention. You buy what matters. You save with purpose. You invest in what you believe in. And you let go of the rest. No more emotional spending. No more chasing the newest thing. Just clarity. Just peace. When your finances are minimal, you feel lighter. You feel more empowered. You're not weighed down by confusion or chaos. You know where your money goes and why. And that awareness, that's the key to long-term growth. Because when you know your numbers, you can make smarter decisions. You can plan better. You can save more. You can grow faster. So today, ask yourself, what can I simplify? What can I reduce? What systems can I create so my money becomes a tool of peace, not pressure? Be a minimalist with your finances, with your focus, with your life. Because when you clear away the excess, what's essential becomes clear, and with that clarity comes power. Number 8, stay focused. In a world full of distractions where noise is everywhere and options never seem to end, there is quiet power in choosing just one thing and giving it your full attention. Focus is becoming rare, but it is still one of the most valuable skills you can build. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows, your time flows, and eventually your results flow. So here's the truth. If you want to grow, if you want to build something lasting, you can't try to do everything. You have to choose. Choose 1 or 2 things to be really good at. Not 5, not 10, just 1 or 2. Let those be the things you believe in, the things you have potential in, and the things that with time can generate income. Not just quickly, but sustainably. Over the long term, it could be a skill, a craft, a business idea, a career path. Whatever it is, choose it with intention. And once you choose, commit. Not just for a week, not just until it gets hard, but over time, over seasons, with consistency. Staying focused doesn't mean life will be perfect. It doesn't mean you won't face doubts or setbacks, but it does mean you stop spreading yourself too thin. You stop chasing every new trend. You stop jumping from idea to idea, looking for the fastest return. Because those who succeed in the long run aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who stayed focused when others got distracted. Think of a laser. A laser is powerful, not because it has more energy, but because its energy is focused, directed, unscattered. You can do the same with your time, your energy, your life. Start by asking yourself, what do I really want to master? What am I willing to show up for, even when it's slow? What could I build if I gave it consistent effort over the next 5 years? Then ask, can this path generate income? Can it grow over time if I stay with it? Does it align with the life I want to live? If the answer is yes, then stay focused. Nurture it. Invest in it. Even when progress feels slow, even when you feel tempted to quit, because great things don't grow in scattered soil. They grow where focus lives. Staying focused doesn't mean ignoring everything else. It means choosing what matters most and letting that lead your actions. It means protecting your time, saying no to what doesn't align, and giving your best effort to what does. So today, give yourself permission to let go of distractions, to stop trying to do it all, and to go deeper instead of wider. Choose your lane and stay in it, because clarity brings confidence and focus builds momentum. Stay focused on your path, on your growth, on what matters most, and with time, your focused effort will turn into results, your discipline will turn into freedom, and your consistency will create the life you've been working for. Number 9, invest money in self-improvement. Invest in yourself. There's no better investment than the one you make in yourself. Not in things, not in trends, not in status symbols that fade, change, or lose meaning, but in your growth, your mind, your skills, your ability to evolve, to learn, and to adapt. We've been taught to see investing as something external. Stocks, real estate, assets you can measure, touch, calculate. But here's what often gets overlooked. You are your greatest asset. Your energy, your ideas, your habits, your mindset. These shape everything, and they determine how far you'll go. So when you think about money, don't just ask what it can buy. Ask instead, what can it build in me? How can I use it to become more capable, more confident, more valuable? Self-improvement isn't a luxury. It's not something you do when life slows down. It's not something to get around to. It's a foundation for everything else you want. It's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Step by step, page by page, challenge by challenge, layer by layer, you grow. And that growth, it stays with you. It compounds. It opens doors that nothing else can. Sometimes, self-investment looks like a simple book, one that stretches your thinking, or introduces a new perspective. Other times, it's enrolling in a course that teaches you a skill directly tied to your future income. It might be a certification, a class, a conference, even a conversation, or on-the-job learning, getting your hands dirty, staying humble, being teachable. Growth isn't always glamorous, but it's always worth it. Whatever form it takes, make sure your investment in yourself matches your mission. What are the 1 or 2 areas you've chosen to master? Where do you believe your potential lies? Let your learning support that. Don't get distracted by shiny courses or random trends. Don't collect knowledge that goes nowhere. Focus. Grow on purpose. Because when self-improvement is aligned, it's powerful. It becomes a tool that multiplies your income, strengthens your confidence, and turns potential into real lasting progress. People may not see the hours you put in. They may not see the work you do behind the scenes, but over time, they'll see the difference. Because growth shows in how you speak, in how you carry yourself, in the way you handle problems and opportunities. When you invest in yourself, you're sending a message not to the world, but to you. You're saying, I believe in my future. I believe in my ability to grow. I'm worth the time. I'm worth the effort. I'm worth the cost. And you are. Everything you want, more income, more options, more freedom, more peace, all of it is connected to who you become. So become more. Don't settle. Don't wait. Stay curious. Stay teachable. Stay in motion. And understand this, self-investment isn't always exciting. Sometimes it's quiet, like reading when the room is still, studying while others scroll, practicing while others party, repeating when no one is watching. But it adds up. It becomes a solid foundation. It becomes your advantage, your edge, when life gets real. When opportunities show up, when doors crack open and you're ready to walk through. So today, pause and ask yourself, where can I grow next? What skill could move me forward? What learning investment could sharpen my focus? Not just in money, but in confidence, in clarity, in capability. And once you know, take a step. No matter how small, the compound effect will do the rest. Invest money in self-improvement. Invest in yourself. Because the return isn't just financial. It shows up in your peace, in your mindset, in the way you walk into a room, in the way you face challenges, and in the way you shape your future. With intention, with strength, with wisdom. You are worth the investment. and your future self will thank you for every step you took today. Number 10, take reasonable risks. Sometimes in life, the biggest risk is taking no risk at all. Think about this for a moment. Staying in the wrong job for too long, just because it feels safe, just because it's familiar, can quietly become a trap. A comfort zone that slowly limits your growth, your potential, and your financial future. While it feels secure on the surface, deep down, it's costing you valuable time. Time that could be spent learning, growing, and earning what you truly deserve. Now, let's talk about your money. Not all of it should sit quietly in a savings account. Yes, it's important to have safety nets, an emergency fund, a solid financial foundation. But beyond that, some of your money belongs in assets that carry a bit more risk. Like stocks, like index funds, maybe even real estate. These are vehicles that over time can grow your wealth far beyond what a bank account ever could. But with higher reward comes a degree of risk. The same principle applies to your career. There may come a point where to earn more, to level up, to reach that next stage, you will need to make a move. You might need to change jobs. You might even need to shift industries or start a side business. And yes, there is always a chance that things might not work out perfectly. But here's the truth. Playing it too safe can cost you more than taking a calculated risk. So what does it mean to take a calculated risk? It means you don't gamble blindly. You study, you prepare, you build your skills, you do your research, you run the numbers. And when the opportunity feels right, you make your move. You invest a portion of your income into stocks, but only after learning how the market works. You apply for a new job, but only after upgrading your resume, practicing interviews, and knowing your worth. You start that side hustle, but only after planning, budgeting, and testing the waters. Calculated risks are measured, they are intentional, they are taken with wisdom, not with recklessness. But remember this, no one grows by standing still. Progress requires movement, and movement often involves stepping into the unknown. Yes, there will be moments of doubt. Yes, some risks won't go as planned. But every step you take, every attempt you make, teaches you something valuable. Even the missteps. The key is to keep learning, to keep refining your approach, and to never let the fear of failure paralyze your potential. So as you navigate your financial journey, as you build your career, as you work toward your goals, ask yourself, am I avoiding risks because they are truly reckless? Or am I avoiding them because they make me uncomfortable? There's a big difference. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Take reasonable risks, be thoughtful, be strategic, but also be bold when the moment calls for it. The life you want, the wealth you seek, the opportunities you dream of, they are rarely found within your comfort zone. Calculated risks are the bridges that carry you from where you are to where you deserve to be. Number 11. Stay bright in the dark moments. Life is a journey of ups and downs. There are moments when everything seems to fall into place, and then there are moments when the weight of life feels heavy, moments when it's hard to stay positive, moments when it feels easier to give in to frustration, sadness, or doubt. That's normal. It's human. No one feels bright and cheerful all the time. Even the strongest minds have their dark days. But here's a gentle reminder. In those dark moments, you still have a small, quiet power within you. It's the power of positive thinking. And more importantly, it's the power of choosing how you respond. You see, positive thinking isn't just a fluffy concept. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about creating a mindset that helps you attract opportunities, solutions, and even wealth and good fortune. But let's be honest, sometimes no matter how much we try, the negative emotions sneak in. We feel down, we feel stuck, and that inner light feels dim. When that happens, when you catch yourself in a low mood, here's a simple yet powerful action you can take. Act upbeat. Even if you don't feel like it. Stand up tall, straighten your back, lift your chin, take a deep, calming breath, and put a gentle smile on your face. Yes, a smile. Even if it feels forced at first, you might be surprised by how quickly your body starts to send new signals to your mind. When you change your posture, when you wear a smile, your brain starts to believe the message you're sending. Our thoughts often follow our actions, not the other way around. So in those tough moments, when your mind feels clouded and your mood feels low, Don't wait for your thoughts to change on their own. Take control by changing your actions first. Move with confidence. Speak with calm assurance, even if it feels like an act in the beginning. This isn't about being fake. It's about leading your emotions gently towards a better state. It's about lighting a small spark that can slowly grow into a brighter flame. Because when your mood begins to shift, even just a little, you become more open to possibilities. You start to notice opportunities around you. You start attracting better energy. And that's where good fortune begins to flow into your life. Positive thinking, especially in dark moments, is not just a mental exercise. It's a physical practice. Your posture, your smile, the way you breathe, the way you walk, all of these influence your state of mind. The outer affects the inner, and the inner reflects back to the world. When you carry yourself with brightness, the world tends to respond. People notice your energy. Opportunities find their way to you. Solutions become visible. Wealth, whether it's financial, emotional, or spiritual, flows more easily when you're in a state of openness and positivity. But it all starts with a choice, a simple decision to shift your actions even when your feelings aren't quite there yet. Remember this, you are not powerless in dark moments. You have tools, you have strategies, you have the ability to create a shift. It doesn't require monumental effort, just small, intentional actions. So the next time you feel down, the next time life feels a bit too heavy, pause. Take a breath, stand tall, smile gently, and act as if you are already stepping into a better moment. Your thoughts will soon begin to follow. Staying bright in dark moments is a practice, and every time you choose light, even in the smallest way, you become stronger. You build resilience. You move closer to the life you want. Wealth, success, happiness. They are attracted to those who choose to rise, even when it's hard. So stay bright, especially when it's dark. That's when your light matters the most. Number 12, put yourself out there. One of the greatest barriers to success is fear. Fear of failing, fear of being rejected, fear of stepping outside the safety of what you know. It's a natural reaction. No one enjoys failing. No one likes the sting of rejection. So we often try to protect ourselves. We play it safe. We stay hidden. We convince ourselves that maybe I'm just not ready yet, or I'll try when the timing is better. But here's the truth. You can't fully insulate yourself from failure or rejection. No matter how carefully you plan, no matter how long you wait, both failure and rejection are part of the path, especially when you start taking calculated risks. But here's the twist. If you want to increase your chances of good luck, if you want to invite success into your life, you need to be visible. You need to be seen. You need to put yourself out there. Opportunities don't knock on doors that are closed. Luck doesn't find you when you're hiding. Good things happen to those who are willing to step into the arena, those who are willing to show up, even if it means facing a few no's before getting to a yes. Every successful person you admire has a trail of rejections behind them. Every great entrepreneur, artist, speaker, or investor, they all took risks that didn't work out. But the difference is, they kept showing up. They kept learning. They kept evolving. And because they were visible, because they stayed in the game, good luck had a chance to find them. So how do you start? How do you put yourself out there in a way that feels intentional and meaningful? You start small. You don't need to make a grand, overwhelming leap. Just take one small step outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's sharing your ideas with a wider audience. Maybe it's applying for a new opportunity, even if you're not 100% sure you'll get it. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you admire for advice. Maybe it's launching that side project you've been thinking about for months. Each step, no matter how small, is an act of courage, an invitation for luck to find you. Understand this. Putting yourself out there does not guarantee instant success, but it guarantees growth. It guarantees learning, and every time you show up, you increase your odds of finding the right opportunity. It's like buying more tickets to life's lottery. The more you participate, the more chances you have to win. Yes, rejection may come. Yes, failure might happen. But with each experience, you become stronger. You become sharper. You learn what works and what doesn't. And most importantly, you become more resilient. Many people misunderstand luck. They think it's something random, something magical that happens to a chosen few. But luck often finds those who are moving, those who are taking action, those who are visible. Luck is opportunity meeting preparation, and it can only meet you if you're out there in the world, present and ready. So the next time fear whispers in your ear, telling you to stay hidden, telling you to wait, telling you to avoid risk, pause. Take a deep breath and remember this. Playing it safe won't protect you from failure, but it will protect you from growth, and it will block opportunities from ever reaching you. Be brave enough to be seen. Be bold enough to be vulnerable, because that's where the magic happens. Your next breakthrough, your next connection, your next big opportunity, it's waiting on the other side of visibility. So step forward, show up, put yourself out there, not recklessly, but with intention, with purpose, with courage. The world is full of doors waiting to be opened, but you have to be willing to knock. You have to be willing to show up. That's how good luck finds you. In conclusion, the path to growth is through action. Life is a journey, a path filled with opportunities, challenges, setbacks, and moments of unexpected luck. But here's a quiet truth that often gets overlooked. Luck, success, wealth. They rarely come to those who wait passively. They come to those who take deliberate steps, even when the path isn't clear. You see, growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you choose to take reasonable risks. Not reckless leaps, but thoughtful, calculated moves that stretch your limits and open new doors. It's easy to stay in the comfort of what you know. A familiar job, a safe routine, a predictable income. But sometimes staying safe is the biggest risk of all. Because while you're standing still, opportunities are moving past you. Yet as you step out, as you take risks, you'll encounter moments of doubt. Moments when life feels heavy, when failure stings, when rejection feels personal. These are your dark moments. Moments that test your mindset. And in these moments, your greatest tool is your ability to stay bright. Not by pretending everything is perfect, but by choosing to act with positivity, standing tall, smiling gently, carrying yourself with hope even when you don't fully feel it yet. Because when you adjust your actions, your thoughts will begin to follow. But there's another piece, a step that many hesitate to take. You must be willing to put yourself out there. No one discovers hidden talents in the shadows. Opportunities don't find you if you're not visible. Connections don't happen if you're not willing to reach out. Putting yourself out there is not about seeking attention. It's about creating possibilities. It's about being present where opportunity can meet you. Yes, it's scary. Yes, rejection might come, but rejection is not a sign to retreat. It's a sign that you are playing the game, that you are moving forward. Every person who has achieved great success has faced moments of failure, of doubt, of rejection. But they kept showing up. They understood that luck is not some random force. It's the intersection of preparation and visibility. So here's how it all comes together. Take reasonable risks with intention. Stay bright and positive, even in difficult moments. And always, always be willing to put yourself out there. This cycle, risk, resilience, visibility, is what leads to growth. It's not a magic formula, it's not a shortcut, but it works. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand what's possible for you. Each time you act upbeat in a tough moment, you strengthen your mindset. Each time you show up and let yourself be seen, you create space for good luck to find you. So as you move forward, ask yourself simple questions. What small risk can I take today that will move me toward my goals? How can I shift my posture and actions when I feel down, so my thoughts follow? Where can I put myself out there and be visible in a meaningful way? These are the questions that lead to transformation. The life you want is within reach, but it requires you to participate, to engage, to risk, to stay positive, and to show up. No one else can do this for you. But if you choose to walk this path, step by step, day by day, you'll be amazed at how opportunities start to align. In the end, the formula is simple. Take the risk. Stay bright. Be seen. That's how success finds you.